It was supposed to be just another quiet evening patrol. Officer Daniels had driven these back roads for years with his trusted K-9 partner, a sharp and loyal German shepherd named Rex. The air was unusually still, the kind that made your instincts stir without knowing why. The autumn leaves whispered beneath the cruiser's tires, and Rex sat upright in the passenger seat, ears perked, as if he sensed something off. As they turned a sharp bend near a heavily wooded area, a flicker of movement caught Officer Daniels' eye. A light, blinking, rapid, deliberate. He slowed down. Through the trees, partially obscured by branches, he could barely make out the shape of a young boy, no more than 10, holding something shiny and reflective. It was a mirror. He was flashing a signal. 3 short flashes, 3 long, 3 short again. S.O.S. Daniel's heart dropped. He slammed on the brakes. Rex let out a low growl, his eyes locked on the woods. The boy didn't move, except to repeat the signal. Hands trembling, eyes wide with desperation. This wasn't a game. This wasn't a lost hiker. Something was terribly wrong. Daniel stepped out of the car, his voice steady. "Hey, buddy, are you okay?" The boy didn't answer. He simply pointed behind him into the thick, dark forest. That's when Rex let out a bark, loud, sharp, urgent, and bolted out of the car before Daniels could stop him. Something, or someone was out there, and it wasn't good. What they discovered next would shake the entire town, and leave tears in even the toughest eyes. Rex's paws pounded the forest floor, his body low, fast and focused. Officer Daniels followed quickly, heart racing, dodging branches and roots. The boy had vanished behind them, but his terrified eyes still burned in Daniel's mind. "Rex! Heel!" Daniels shouted, but the dog was locked in. Years of training had taught Rex to obey, but this wasn't normal. He wasn't chasing. He was leading. Daniels followed, trusting his partner's instincts. Deeper into the woods, the trees grew denser, the air colder. A thick silence fell, broken only by the occasional crack of a twig beneath Rex's steps. Suddenly, Rex stopped. He stood alert at the edge of a small clearing, hackles raised, tail stiff. Daniels caught up, panting. "What is it, boy?" Then he saw her, a woman unconscious, her back against a tree, arms limp, a faint trail of blood on her forehead. Next to her, a young girl, maybe 6 years old, sat with her arms around her knees, rocking back and forth. She looked up as they approached. Her face was pale, her eyes swollen from crying. Daniels dropped to one knee. "Hey, sweetheart, you're safe now. I'm Officer Daniels. Can you tell me what happened?" The girl didn't speak, but she slowly pointed toward the woman. Her mother. Daniels quickly checked for a pulse. Faint, but present. "She's alive," he whispered, grabbing his radio. "Dispatch! This is Officer Daniels. I need an ambulance immediately. Female unconscious. 2 children involved. We're deep in the forest behind County Road 12. Sending coordinates now." As he relayed details, the little girl shuffled toward Rex and gently wrapped her arms around his neck. Rex didn't move, just let her hold him, his body still and protective. That's when the boy reappeared, stumbling through the trees. "You came?" he breathed, eyes filling with tears. "I didn't know if it would work." Daniel stood, walking over. "What happened out here, son?" The boy wiped his face. "We were hiking. My mom," she slipped, hit her head. "I tried calling for help, but no signal. I remember from school that mirrors can signal. I waited all day, then I saw your car." The emotion cracked his voice. Daniels knelt down beside him. "You were smart. You saved your family." The boy looked up. "No!" He did, pointing to Rex. He ran in when no one else could. Sirens began to echo faintly through the forest. The boy looked at his sister, who was still hugging Rex. "Is she going to be okay?" he whispered. Daniels placed a firm hand on his shoulder. "She's going to get help now. You all are." When paramedics arrived minutes later, they carefully stabilized the mother, administering oxygen and preparing her for the stretcher. The girl clung to Rex the entire time, only letting go when one of the EMTs offered her a soft blanket and a juice box. As the medical team prepared to transport, The boy turned back one last time at Officer Daniels. Can I say thank you to Rex? Daniels smiled. You just did, son. But the boy walked up anyway and knelt beside the German shepherd. Thank you, he whispered, hugging him gently. You're a real hero. Rex licked the boy's hand once, then sat tall, like he understood exactly what he'd done. Daniels watched them all go, a family broken, but still together. And in the quiet that followed, he felt a lump in his throat. He looked at Rex. You did good, partner. Rex wagged his tail, but his eyes were calm, almost humble. Back in the cruiser, as they drove off, Daniels couldn't help but glance one more time into the rearview mirror, at the trees, the fading light, and the place where a boy's courage and a dog's instinct came together to save lives. They would both be called heroes in the local news the next day. But for Daniels, the real story wasn't about sirens or headlines. It was about a moment, a flash, an S.O.S, and the quiet strength of a loyal German shepherd who answered it. The next morning, the town was buzzing. Local headlines screamed, K9 hero saves injured family after boys flash S.O.S. Officer Daniels and Rex commended for forest rescue. The mayor gave a public statement, praising the courageous and intelligent effort of Officer Daniels. But everyone knew who stole the spotlight. Rex. Photos of the proud German shepherd beside the two rescued children were everywhere. Newspapers, social media, even national morning shows picked up the story. At the station, Daniel sat at his desk, scrolling through messages. Emails, thank yous, donation offers. People from around the country had flooded the police department with appreciation. He looked over at Rex, curled up under his desk, resting. You started all this, buddy. Daniel said quietly, a smile in his voice. Just then, Captain Marlowe walked in, holding a manila folder. Daniels, got a request for you and Rex. You free? Daniel stood up. Depends. What kind of request? School visit. Same one the boy from the forest attends. They're calling you two real-life superheroes. Want to meet you? Daniels chuckled. We can do that. That Friday, Officer Daniels and Rex walked into the elementary school auditorium. Applause erupted. Children clapped wildly. Teachers wiped away tears, and in the front row, the boy and his sister sat side by side, grinning wide. Principal Hammond stepped forward. Everyone, please welcome Officer Daniels and K9 Rex, the heroes of Willow Creek. Daniels spoke briefly, telling the children that being brave doesn't mean not being scared. It means doing the right thing, even when you are. Then he handed the microphone to the boy. Nervous at first, the boy stepped up and said, I didn't think anyone could hear me. But Rex did. He listened. He found us. He looked at Rex with watery eyes. I didn't save my mom. He did. Rex walked up beside him and gently pressed his head into the boy's side. The entire room melted into tears. Afterward, Daniels let the children pet Rex. They asked questions. They made drawings of him in capes, fighting fires, saving lives. But one child, a girl with big glasses, handed Daniels a folded piece of paper. I made this for Rex, she whispered. Daniels opened it. A crayon drawing of a large heart with the words, Thank you for being a hero when no one else could. Daniels kneeled and gave the paper to Rex like it was an award. You got fans now, buddy. The principal came forward once more. Officer Daniels, before you go, we have one last surprise. From behind the curtain, the boy's mother entered, still healing, bandaged but upright. She walked slowly, tears in her eyes. Everyone stood in stunned silence. She embraced Daniels first. Thank you for trusting your dog, for following him. Then she knelt down, kissed Rex on the head, and whispered, You gave my children their mother back. The room broke into emotional applause once again. For Daniels, it wasn't about the attention. It was never about fame. It was about doing what they'd trained for, what they were meant to do. And for Rex, it was just another mission, another family protected, another silent job. Well done. As Daniels and Rex left the school that day, the boy ran up one last time. Do you think I could be a K9 officer one day? Daniels smiled, looked down at Rex, Then back at the boy. You've already got the heart for it. A month had passed since the rescue. Leaves began to fall, painting the town in shades of amber and gold. The local community center prepared for an event unlike any they'd hosted before, a medal ceremony honoring K9 Rex. The townspeople arrived in droves. Children clutched drawings of Rex. Elderly couples came with warm blankets and lawn chairs. Officers stood tall in formal dress blues. Inside, the atmosphere was filled with pride, emotion, and gratitude. Officer Daniels straightened his uniform in the mirror backstage, brushing off invisible dust. His palms were sweating, but not from nerves, from something deeper, from the weight of what this moment meant. Rex sat beside him, perfectly still. You ready for this, partner? Rex wagged his tail once. Calm, focused, just like he was in the forest that night. Military medal on stage. Mayor Collins took the stage. Today, we honor not just bravery, but loyalty, intuition, and love. Our K9 units work quietly, courageously, and sometimes they save lives in ways we can't even explain. She paused, eyes welling up. Rex, your instincts saved a family. Your training guided your human partner through the dark, and your loyalty gave a mother a second chance at life. She gestured toward the front row, where the boy, his sister, and their mother sat, holding hands. The mayor turned to Daniels. Officer Daniels, please bring Rex forward. Daniels walked to the center, Rex at his side. The crowd rose to their feet. A polished medal hung from a red, white, and blue ribbon. Carefully, the mayor placed it around Rex's neck. It gleamed under the lights. A standing ovation shook the hall. Photographers clicked. Children waved. People wiped away tears. But Daniels noticed Rex didn't seem concerned with any of it. His eyes, they were focused on the boy in the front row, as if to say, this is your moment too. The boy stood, trembling with excitement. His small feet carried him to stage. Without asking, he threw his arms around Rex's neck and whispered, I love you. Silence. Then more clapping. More tears. No one minded the breach of protocol. It was real. It was pure. Love letter, a letter read aloud. Then came a surprise. The police chief stepped up and said, we received a letter from someone in another state who heard the story. He opened it slowly and read, I served as a K9 officer for 19 years before I lost my partner to cancer. Watching this story reminded me of something I forgot, why we choose this work in the first place. Please tell Rex and Daniels, thank you for bringing honor to the badge, for reminding us that courage doesn't always bark loud. Sometimes it sniffs quietly through the dark and finds the lost. A hush fell across the room. Daniels swallowed hard. Even he hadn't expected this day to feel like this. Crescent moon that evening. Back at home, Daniels removed his tie and loosened his collar. The medal rested in a wooden box on the shelf, already surrounded by cards, drawings, and a framed newspaper clipping. Outside, twilight settled over the neighborhood. Daniels let Rex into the backyard. He watched as the dog sniffed the breeze, then sat peacefully under the old oak tree. What a journey, huh? Daniels sat beside him. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the folded crayon drawing, the heart with the words, thank you for being a hero when no one else could. He pinned it up on the fridge, right next to a photo of Rex as a puppy in training. Some things medals can't express, but hearts always do. And for Officer Daniels and Rex, this wasn't the end. Just another chapter in the story of a bond forged not by commands and leashes, but by trust, courage, and an unspoken vow. Where you go, I go. Years passed. The town grew busier, buildings taller and traffic louder. But for Officer Daniels, the heartbeat of his world remained steady. The soft tapping of Rex's paws on hardwood floors each morning. The boy Rex had saved, now a teenager. He visited often, always with treats in hand, always with a laugh, a hug, or a new story to share. Rex had become more than a hero. He was a friend, a local legend, and for Daniels, a constant. But time spares no one, not even heroes with wagging tails. Candle, the final shift. It was a cold winter morning. Daniels noticed Rex struggling to get up. His legs, once strong and springy, now trembled. He didn't whine, didn't complain, just looked at Daniels with those same patient eyes, filled with loyalty, trust, and readiness. The vet confirmed what Daniels feared. Old age, joint pain, heart slowing down. There's no emergency, the vet said softly, but it's time to start preparing. Daniels nodded. That night, he didn't sleep. He lay on the floor beside Rex, hand resting gently on his fur, whispering old commands, half-jokes, and quiet thank yous into the dark. The next few weeks were spent in slow walks, warm blankets, and favorite meals. Rex was still alert, still him, but the spark was fading. Telephone received a call that changed everything. One morning, Daniels got a call from the mayor's office. We're planning something. A farewell. For Rex. Before. The word hung heavy. Daniels looked at Rex, then back at the phone. We'll be there, he said. Military medal, the last ceremony. The town held the event in the same community center where Rex had once received his hero's medal. This time, it was quieter, more intimate. No cameras, no reporters, just family. The teenage boy, taller now, voice deeper, stood by Rex's side the entire time. He read a speech. I'm here today not as a victim who was rescued, but as someone who became who I am because of that moment. Rex gave me a second chance. He gave my family life again, and he showed me what courage truly looks like. He didn't wear a cape. He didn't fly. But he found me when no one else could. People sobbed quietly. Even the officers, hardened by years of service, couldn't hold it in. Daniels knelt beside Rex. A final medal, a final photo, a final salute, one last drive. That evening, Daniels placed Rex gently into the passenger seat of his old cruiser. No lights, no sirens, just one slow drive through the quiet streets of the town they protected together for years. Daniels talked the whole way. Remember that day by the river? And the kid who tried to sneak a hot dog into his backpack? Still think you were right that day we turned left instead of right. Rex listened, eyes half closed, head resting against Daniels' arm. They stopped by the hill, the same one they'd trained on years ago. Daniels spread a blanket. The stars began to peek through the clouds. Rex laid down, tail gently brushing the grass. Daniels whispered, "Thank you for everything." And there, under a sky of silver stars, Rex closed his eyes, peacefully,